Mark, why do you feel that this platform is still useful to spread a message like this?
Listen, I want to pretend like this is, I want to be here to celebrate, and I am here to celebrate, and I'm proud to have a Golden Globe nomination. But also, this is not normal anymore. And so I don't know how I can be quiet. And I'm feeling a little sick, so it's hard to BS right now. So.
Hollywood's in a tough position, especially after last night. A couple people talking about ICE and what's her name who got shot in the face. Good. Her last name was Good. Got shot by an ICE agent trying to run him over. And I talked about it last week. It's I had been personally in a lot of negative interactions with the police. And while I did get my ass kicked quite a bit, deserved it sometimes, didn't deserve it others. Got some flashlight therapy from the sheriffs in the county jail. That hurts. Never got shot. Never got shot. Number one, they had guns. I did not. Number two, they have backup. I did not. They have radios, so they can call more backup. I did not. They have the power of the state behind them. I did not. And more often than not, I was in the wrong. A lot more often than not. And I just had this moment of clarity, no matter how drug-addled, and I was on a lot of drugs, but I had this moment of clarity that a night, a week, a month, a couple of years locked up is better than dying. Live to fight another day. Right or wrong doesn't matter in a split second, especially when you are even perceived to be accelerating in a giant 2-ton vehicle at somebody who's armed. And I think a lot of that has to do with there is a lot of women in this country who we joke about accountability, but they really feel extra protected. So consequences don't even cross their mind. So a lot of people are talking about ICE at Golden Globes, but the person, one singular person Hollywood's going to need in this scenario, the same Hollywood that all hate Netflix now, but when this is all said and done, will all work for Netflix. They need Daddy Trump to save them from this bad deal that was created by them, that was created by their unions, that was created by their industry, that pissed off half the country, made a bunch of shit, tried to, the messaging and propaganda got to ridiculous levels, still is. Oh, and they haven't learned a fucking thing. They're going to give one battle after another. It's going to sweep the fucking Oscars. But yeah, we got Paramount sues Warner Brothers. Trump implies opposition to Netflix's WB deal. Stop the cultural takeover. Paramount CEO David Ellison informed Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders on Monday that the company will be taking them to court, initiating legal action, blah, blah, blah. So what's going on here exactly? A simple retweet is being taken about more this morning, talked about more this morning than the Golden Globes, which might say more about the ceremony than the retweet itself. Yes, Donald Trump, him again, has seemingly sort of finally taken a side on the Netflix Paramount bid to acquire Warner Brothers, and it may have been David Ellison. Now, this article will frame it as this is Ellison's Trump's buddy, right? So he's favoring his buddy. Normally, that's how they would word it. But Hollywood's in a quandary because they want to hate Ellison for his supposed links to Trump, but they can't side with Netflix either because they want to not put anything in theaters. What do you do if you're in Hollywood? What do you do? To be a fly in the room of a Hollywood actor who's trying to decide what their opinion is by, doing marketing research with their assistants. Obama does work with Netflix. He does. He's got a deal, and it is propaganda. And he was planting the seeds of his. That's where he was going to go. Well, it wasn't his only destination, but listen, it's not an accident that all of the propagandizing really ramped up during his very uniting presidency and then got even worse after he left because a bunch of people from his administration started working in Hollywood. But it's a total coincidence, everybody. It's a total coincidence. major Hollywood screenwriters were writing speeches for Joe Biden. It's all a coincidence, though. But yeah, so Trump, where is his? There it is. And that's all he posted. Stop the Netflix cultural takeover. It's the worst takeover. But he might have just seen, Stranger Things 5. He could have just got to episode 7. Like, we don't know. This simple retweet from Trump may have ruined Netflix's and Warner Brothers' night at the Globes. They know there are 3 more years of Trump left in the White House, and that his DOJ has its knives sharpened, ready to review the deal, bringing intense scrutiny and plenty of headaches in the process. It won't be smooth sailing. The same deal that you are all in Hollywood calling a monopoly, which I hate to break it to you, it's not. You might not like it. I might not like it. Hollywood might not like it. Doesn't matter what I like or not. It's not. Quite honestly, that's probably exactly what Trump wants. The retweet seems to send the message to WBD's David Zaslav, who supposedly was a buddy with, well, at least friendly with Trump too, and the company's board, that he prefers Paramount in this fight. It's also the first time the president has publicly weighed in on the matter, seemingly siding with the Ellisons. Well, last time I think he said he's staying out of it. But one sentence can drive, most influential man in Hollywood. President Trump. One sentence can make an industry scramble. You think if Bush said something like that, they would give 2 fucks? They wouldn't.
We're in the middle of a war with Venezuela that we illegally invaded. He's telling the world that international law doesn't matter to him. The only thing that matters to him is his own morality. But the guy is a convicted felon or convicted rapist. He's a pedophile. He's the worst human being in the world. If we're relying on this guy's morality for the most powerful country in the world, then we're all in a lot of trouble.
He's just fucking Mark Ruffalo. So there wasn't as much of that. There were people wearing pins like "Be Good" or something like that, but it wasn't overwhelming what I saw. It was your typical people. I know Wanda Sykes tried to throw a little shade at Ricky Gervais. Dude, she is taking a butter knife to a gunfight. She should not do that. I mean, it's bad enough that she's a female comedian, already not funny, but you're going against the GOAT. By the way, his last special on Netflix was really good. Go check it out. And his monologue at the 2020 Golden Globes is the greatest monologue of any award show ever. Said it at the time. Nothing has changed. But Amy Poehler won Best Podcaster. Big shock. They throw podcaster into the fucking Emmys, and they give it to one of their own. It's so Hollywood. Oh, we're going to try to incorporate this thing that's killing us and give it an award to throw it a bone, and then we'll give it to one of our own. The first Best Podcaster award should go to Joe Rogan. It should. He used to be one of them. Yeah, I would take Conan O'Brien, who's still a moron politically, but at least he's not as obnoxious as all the others. By the way, how's Haiti, Conan? Pretty safe to go. You're going to take a vacation to Haiti anytime soon? Just curious. Now, the Golden Globes, I mean, all award shows are jokes, but it's always been kind of a joke. So they just combine TV and film. I'm sure their ratings will be terrible. Golden Globes 2026 winners, one battle after another, everybody, earns 4 awards. Adolescence, which was the show on Netflix that was where they race swapped the story of the kid to a white kid so they can send a certain message about what's really dangerous in the UK. And I'm not shocked at all any of these won. One battle after another, a blistering satire about radical politics, and Hamnet, a look at William Shakespeare's complicated domestic life, took top prizes at the 83rd Global Awards. The studio, a send-up of Hollywood, was named Best TV Series, Musical, and Comedy, and The Pit, which takes place in Overstretched Hospital, won Best TV Series. Best Limited or Anthology Series went to Adolescence, the story of a murder investigation that unfolds in one continuous shot. The Globes, unlike the Oscars, delineates film by genre. That meant one battle after another won Best Musical Comedy. while Hamnet was crowned Best Picture Drama. And now, one battle after another. Already reviewed it, already watched it. Paul Thomas Anderson, I think, is one of the most overrated directors in the history of Hollywood. He's certainly done some good stuff that I like, but it's all his older stuff. One battle after another was incredibly overpraised because of its politics. Now, did you hear what they just called it? A satire of radical politics? Well, the radical politics of Antifa are a satire, so it's a little hard to parody that. It's also a little hard to parody something that the filmmaker agrees with. But it's going to win them all, and it's going to do that because the voters think they'll be putting a middle finger up to Trump, the most influential man in Hollywood. They think about him every day, night and day. They obsess over him instead of thinking about things like making better movies and fixing your industry. Nikki Glaser returned as the MC for the second year in a row. In her opening monologue, she poked fun at everything from Barry Weiss. Listen, I'm not breaking out the pom-poms for Barry Weiss, but at least she isn't like the legacy media machine. Now, to say that she's not a media machine and doesn't have heavy financial backing from certain, we'll just say, entities would not be true. This narrative of she's one of us, she's an independent news source getting in there. It's like, no, she used to work for the fucking New York Times. And yes, she pissed off the New York Times and she went off the reservation a little bit and called out COVID, and that's great. And she did the Twitter files, which were great. But there's like certain people in Hollywood thinking she's like MAGA. And it's like, no. The new host of the evening news came out and said, hey, we're going to try to be authentic. That's essentially what a speech is. That's totally what you should do. That would be different from everything else. We'll see. We will see. But them calling out like Barry Weiss, so brave. See BS news, see bullshit news. Oh, because my God, all the other news has been just top notch. Epstein files, best editing goes to the Justice Department. That's actually kind of funny. To Warner Brothers pending sale of Netflix, she also lampooned Hollywood's self-obsessed calling Globes without a doubt the most important thing that's happened in the world right now. There were more somber reminders of politics on display. Celebrities such as Mark Ruffalo and Wanda Sykes wore pins. In the video, Mark Ruffalo was talking about how scared he is at this award show surrounded by armed security and people wearing $100,000 dresses and $250,000 necklaces, where he can run back to the safety of his cozy mansion in one of his houses, because he has one in the Bay Area too, behind giant walls. He's scared. Several winners use their time on stage to urge viewers to exhibit compassion and understanding. Sitters won Best Cinematic Box Office Achievement. Sykes presented the award for Best Stand-Up Special, trolled Ricky Gervais for his past trans jokes and being an atheist. The comic wasn't in the ballroom when he won for morality, so Sykes accepted it, thanking his God and the trans community. Award shows are going to fade into obscurity. They're only there for the actors. The who are you wearing and caring about any of this stuff is going to become so niche that the Oscars being on YouTube, I hope we can react to them, by the way. But it's always been a fucking circle jerk. You're right. It's always been a fucking circle jerk. But we used to care when like movies that we actually watched got in it. But I went down I'm still going down this rabbit hole. I'm still formulating my thoughts on it. But I have said in the past, hey, anything that gets digitized, it loses its fear of missing out. It loses its event status. It loses its quality, and it makes any entertainment disposable. So I was watching, Napster and the whole Metallica debacle and Lars Ulrich and his big fucking mouth, and the music industry not recognizing, like, for instance, Napster was boosting CD sales. Yes, it was. It was actually boosting them. But how it fragmented, and that ended up being the end of the music industry. And now we have a music industry. I was talking about it last night. Rick Vieto was talking about the, YouTuber, great channel, by the way, great channel. He was talking about the best songs of 2026 for the Grammys compared to the best songs of 1984, and it's such a joke. And one of the songs that's nominated for best song this year is just Gautier's "Girl You Used to Know" with new words. And I'm like, wow, it's just like Hollywood. Hollywood isn't taking any chances anymore. They're completely risk averse, except when it comes to the message. But they don't see that as risk averse. They see that as very safe. And what's Doomsday? Avengers Doomsday is basically kind of a greatest hits of Marvel coming back, not being very innovative. We're remaking animated films. We're now making sequels of remakes of animated films. We are now making midquels. They had to rename all this shit. I had to look it up. There's an interquel and an intraquel. They are two different things. There is a midquel. There is a requel. There is a sidequel. So they're inventing new terms, trying to shoehorn in things to timelines of previously established and better franchises created by better people, instead of moving forward and making something new, which they're deathly afraid to do, which doesn't make any sense because they're perfectly okay casting a lesbian James Bond. Like they would be perfectly okay doing that. They don't see that as a risk, as much of a risk as making something new or making something people like, or not being so obsessed with identity and not doing market research on demographics before you make a fucking movie. But as Hollywood's obsession with identity has made them lose their identity. And they are going the same way of the music industry, which went from true innovation, a guy in his garage writing his song by himself, and now Taylor Swift has an army of 12 people writing one of her songs. And like how 12 people wrote that, I'm not really sure. But 21 people write for Stephen Colbert. About 15 people write for Jimmy Kimmel. Hollywood's going the same way. Look at how many producers are on a Star Trek show. Star Trek Discovery had 21 producers. 21. So it's going the same way. And once I totally formulate my thoughts and I can pinpoint, but it's almost exact, like the downfall of the music industry and where it's at now. Billy Corrigan was talking about it too. There's no bands anymore. There's no bands charting anymore. And all the bands touring are 100 years old. So it is a big loss to our culture. Our culture is in degrade. It's also the 20th century models are just dying and they're changing into something new and being fragmented. That part I'm not against.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.